Hey, what's going on, Terminator fans? Joe again from Grindhouse Grotto. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, please subscribe to my channel. All support's greatly appreciated. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. I've got amazing Terminator content that I'm going to be discussing with you all leading up to the new film. It's going to be released on November 1st of this year. Terminator 6 Dark Fate. I'm super excited. I'm a hardcore Terminator fan, and I can't wait to discuss all the little plot holes that we find out from, the production of this movie. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, what I'm here to talk about today is my thoughts on John Connor's character, because I feel like John Connor is such a central piece to the whole puzzle as far as what's going to happen in this film. And what we've seen from information that has come up from the production of this film is that we don't have a casted adult John Connor. So it's been confirmed that they have casted a young, basically body double of John Connor, Drew Colley. He's been casted, and he's going to play a body double for John Connor. And what they're probably going to do is they're going to do a face imprint of Edward Furlong, the actor, and they're going to put his face on Drew Colley's body and reenact some CGI scenes from Terminator 2. And I think that's pretty cool. CGI has come a long ways. I thought it looked pretty decent in Terminator Genesis when they did those, opening sequences where they were redoing scenes from Terminator 1 with Arnold, and Brett Azar was the body double, which brings me back to Terminator 6. They've actually casted Brett Azar again as a body double for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So the question that I have is, where's John Connor in the current timeline in this film? We already know, if you've followed IMDb and keeping up with casting updates, they pretty much locked in all the cast for this movie. In fact, they've wrapped up filming on this. So at this point, we don't have an adult John Connor in this timeline. And so I feel like that is a plot point that is central to this story, which, is extremely important. They have to somehow explain John Connor's character in this timeline. Okay, they brought back Linda Hamilton, and we saw the events that played out in Terminator 2 and how protective she was of John Connor. And just knowing that John Connor has such a central role in the future with the Resistance and saving mankind from the war against the machines. Without him, I just don't see what they're going to do. I've always thought about the Terminator series that, as good of a character as John Connor and as important as he was to the future, of the Terminator series, he also kind of holds back the series in a way. And I will explain that. I feel like James Cameron's kind of always known that, and that's why he's never been on board with making a sequel to Terminator 2, because he knew that, in order to create sequels, you have to continually bring in new characters. You can't just keep on bringing in, you can bring in old characters, but at some point in time, you're going to have another generation of new people that are watching the movies, and they're going to want to see new characters and new stories develop. And John Connor's character is so important on the future that the story can't survive without him. And when you have a young childhood actor like Edward Furlong, who was the face of John Connor, you have to find somebody who is very similar, in acting as Edward Furlong to play an adult John Connor. And we've seen all these different iterations of John Connor as an adult, in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, Salvation, Genesis. All these different actors have played John Connor. They've never been able to get Edward Furlong to come back because of his rehab problems and his drug addiction. But he is so important to the series that the series cannot survive without his character. So I'm just wondering, what are they going to do? And we know that, James Cameron has talked about his thoughts on this upcoming sequel. And, he is not in the director's seat. He's not directing the film, but he's a creative consultant. He's in a producer role with Tim Miller, the Deadpool director. He's on board as the director for this film. And so I think James Cameron understands that we have to somehow explain John Connor's character. And to move this series forward, and James Cameron stated this is going to be a new trilogy, we have to create a new set of characters, a new storyline. And so I think they've come to the realization that John Connor's character, either they got to expand on that, which is going to limit the new characters they can have and what their new characters' roles are going to be, because you can't have any new characters of great significance if John Connor is your main man. So I think moving forward, they're going to want to limit, or maybe even write out John Connor's character. Which is, in all honesty, that's what I think they're going to do in this story. We're going to get a new generation of characters, and they're unfortunately going to write out John Connor's character. And that's why we haven't seen it on IMDb or any casting updates of a adult John Connor. We can sit here and speculate all day long. What are they going to do with John Connor's character? To me, I feel like it's very revealing that they've casted a young body double. Drew Colley is going to play the body double for John Connor's young character. And what they're going to probably do is they're going to do a facial imprint of Edward Furlong as a child onto Drew Colley's body and do some flashback scenes. And we've got Brett Azar that's been brought on board to play the body double of Arnold's character. And are these going to be flashback scenes, or scenes that we didn't see from T2 that they're going to kind of recreate to add some connection between T2 and this new sequel? Or are they going to explain a little bit of some things that happened after the events of T2? We saw at the end of T2, basically, Uncle Bob, Arnold's good T-100 was lowered into the molten lava in the steel mill, and then basically Sarah and John, they rode off into the night, and there was a little bit of narration from Sarah basically saying that, the road ahead is dark and our future is unknown at this time. Did they come under attack? Did a Terminator or something happen between the events, the ending of T2 and this new movie? Did they come under attack? Did Arnold's character or some other Terminator kill John Connor? Or did somehow the events of T2 create a rift in this timeline that basically John Connor doesn't exist anymore? This is a central plot point that I feel like has to be discussed in this new sequel. It's inevitable. They got to talk about it. They got to explain what's happened to John Connor's character. He is such an important character to this franchise, and whether they decide to keep him in the story somehow or they're going to write him out, is the whole series, the whole franchise is teetering on this. What's going to happen with his character. And that's what I've been deliberating on. That's what I've been thinking about. I've been trying to put pieces together, and in my head, I'm trying to wrap my brain around what they're doing with this character and what they're going to do in this new movie. But anyways, guys, what are your thoughts on John Connor's character based off of the information that we've received in news and updates? What do you think they're going to do with his character? I'm fascinated by what everybody thinks about that. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on John Connor's character and what you think they're going to do. As always, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and please subscribe to my channel. All support's greatly appreciated. And until next time, guys, take it easy.